Max Murray specifically, and what makes him so unique is he comes from a family of, he's got three other siblings, right? So four kids in his family, big family, tall family. He can take the team pretty much in a circle within his wingspan. And before he went into PKs, he was telling the group, when you walk up to that spot, every single one of you know we have your backs. We got your back.
Championship. We're talking about Max Murray, so let's continue that conversation because he's an interesting story. So you talked about his family, but here's a guy that 2 years ago was a striker, and I guess a pretty good one. And he was playing central defense when I turned the television on to watch the NCAA final. And when he was drafted by New York City FC, 17th overall, and they traded up from number 24 to get him. So obviously there was interest there. They wanted to figure this out, but he's listed as a defender. So before we get into Max, the person and player, what happened as far as striker now to defender?
I hope I'm not messing up NYCFC's plans for him, but Max growing up was a defender, and that's where we recruited him as, and that's where he played for the first couple of years. Now we were playing Syracuse in the regular season at home during Syracuse's national championship year, and we had so many injuries, a ton of injuries.
Yeah.
And I just said, Max, we got such an athletic backline at Syracuse to try and disrupt. We need you to go up there and first act as a pressing forward. What ended up happening is he was really good at it. And now a team has to worry about a 6'5" forward. And then you got to worry about the other players like Bazzini on our team or Alex Nagy at that time. So it was we didn't have anything special drawn up, but him to apply some energy and his instincts up there and scored 11, 10 or 11 goals that season in 2022.
So he was an all league forward, right? He made the all league team.
Region, yeah, yeah, all that.
So it was just that 1 year.
No, he came sec next year. He mostly played as a forward. He played at a center back when we had some injuries against UConn, against a couple other games. And it wasn't until we were still training him as a forward in the offseason. We're training him in preseason as a nine. And right after we played Western Michigan nine, and Irvine, we played as a nine. But when we come up to San Diego State, injuries, and we wanted to play three back in that game. Max goes to the back, doesn't come out for the rest of the season. So it's great, right? So like we typically sub our nines to keep energy within the match.
Yeah.
But having Max at center back in a position we don't sub as much, we get his threat on restarts and defense on restarts for all 90 minutes. And what a weapon and kind of fortress he puts up.
And you can see occasionally he likes to calculate the time to get forward. That happened a couple of times in the title game. So he still has that striker mentality, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. We in 10 minutes left in the game um against Marshall, their plan. We're putting Max up top. Um and tw 20 seconds in, putting him up top, he makes, the hockey assist pass
Right.
to score the goal. Uh it's just his instincts in the game run pretty wide. He's played as a six for us a little bit as well.
Yeah. And some of the highlight packages, you don't see that he is the guy that really makes that goal, that equalizer in the 81st minute. He got it started, right?
Goalkeeper had a bit of a misclearance, but with a difficult, kind of interception, was able to play a really clean first pass that led to the quality of the next two passes for sure, from Marcel to Ismail and back to Marcel for the finish.
Now he seems to be a dominant left footer. I've only seen him play that one game. He used the right. It wasn't like he was just standing on his right leg. He was actually serving the ball at times with it. But dominant left, is that his game?
Um, he plays on that left side. He's actually right foot dominant. Which is
I well,
exciting. Um,
Two-footed player is that's
no,
that's a bonus. 6'5", that's a bonus. Athletic is a bonus. So how do you just yourself and you observe what's going on the professional level? What are his chances, do you think, to break into the top tier here in MLS?
I think it's really challenging to make the next step. I think as in the college game, we need to continue to develop our players for it's not to be such a big step, going forward. However, Max Murray's got some intangibles that are, just so important for the MLS. As a defender and the ability to just box defend, put his body on the line, that big body, um, heading, reading intentions of strikers and wingers. And the other thing is that in his, there's like the tactical body on the line, big frame, long range bit to his intangibles. But for a 6'5" guy, his dual defending is excellent against the most opposite kind of match ups, that we've seen, like San Diego. They played with some really creative, agile strikers that we were concerned about before the game on the matchup. And Max continued to win his duels time after time. So those defensive instincts, pretty complete instincts, along with the intangibles. I think he's going to surprise some people at the next level.
How about his air game? Now you talked about his frame. We understand his heading ability, but on both sides of the ball, defensive clearances, but also scoring goals. I mean, that's a critical factor here. Is he good in front of goal off of corners and set pieces?
Yeah, maybe this isn't so popular in the soccer community, but Max was also a basketball player. and and where the ball lands and where the timing of this, his footwork in and around the 6 yard box PK area is very good. And again, like when we need to score, or anytime that we get a corner, Sydney with Thuta, who went just before him in the draft, he took all of our corners. Well, he's got Max Murray to serve to in the box. And I think Sid ended up with the second most assists in the league, largely because we have such, like a guy like Max Murray that just is a mismatch for most teams. Now at the next level, he's going to have to level up on physicality side and know that people are coming from. But I think he's prepared for the challenge.
Versatile as well. I don't know if you know who Matt Doyle is. He's a guy that's pretty well known in MLS. He's covered the sport for a long time, works for MLSsoccer.com. And he just said, just want to put it out there that I will fight to the death for whichever MLS team drafts Max Murray. Nothing but glowing, unfiltered praise in my columns for the next 2 years. This is before draft day. Then he added his own reply. Guess I'm a NYCFC now. Might buy season tickets. So here's somebody who adores this kid, who does follow it. He's not a coach, but he's analyzed the game for many years.
Yeah, I thought those are really, we don't get a lot of those types of text messages directed towards Vermont soccer players. So it's humbling to that people are following us like this. I think you had to, and I think people just kind of turned their volume up a little bit with Vermont soccer down the stretch here and what we're able to achieve. And I think there was a story like Max, staying 5 years at one school at a mid-major, and his loyalty to the program. That's again rare. It's rare. And those guys getting up in the press conferences and just talk about how important it is to sustain a work ethic, sustain high standards, not just for immediate reward over a month or two, but over a multiple year period.